Hey everybody, we're live. Excellent. Welcome to Little Steps Live. Today we're actually in Singapore, which has been great. It's been a busy week at Facebook Live. We've had two this week, one in Hong Kong, and now we're here in Singapore over at the EtonHouse International School on Orchard. Today's very interesting topic. I found it quite interesting because I myself was quite confused as a parent, so I'm very excited to kind of understand a little bit more about our topic today, which is all about IGCSE. It's going to be all explained to us, so it's going to answer all of our questions. Just a couple of reminders before we get started. So just so you know, we do go live. Typically, it's twice a month on the Little Steps Facebook page. This week's been a bit of a busy one, but it's typically twice a month. The way that you stay informed with which live sessions are coming up is just going over to our Facebook page, clicking on the events tab, and that'll have all the upcoming Facebook Live sessions. And the types of stuff that we're doing is, of course, interviews with experts, such as Kelly here, as well as do-it-yourself fun, tours, all sorts of insider information on the Facebook Live sessions. So do join us. They're fun, they're interactive, and we get to obviously talk to our community. Other things that you should note is make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletters. We've got a lot coming up we got the pre-summer push. So we are active in 6 cities across Asia, and we're going to be rolling out all sorts of interesting things to keep informed over the upcoming summer period, including summer camps, we just launched Singapore yesterday. It seems so early we're talking about summer. But do sign up for those newsletters so you can stay informed. Last but not least, get involved. We are live. We are here with an expert. So please do ask your questions, comments, and share with people that you know. Share with your friends live on the session so that they can join us and ask their questions as well. So without further ado, we're going to dive into our topic today. So here we go. Of course, everyone wants their children to excel and get solid foundations as they head into their final years. We are talking more about the secondary period, secondary schooling, which based on our feedback at Little Steps, people do want more information about secondary schooling options and in Singapore as well as in Asia particularly. So this is a topic that is very relevant for parents that are bringing their kids up into those secondary years and want to make sure that they get that solid foundation in place. So we are going to be talking all about the International General Certificate of Secondary Education, also referred to as IGCSE. Sometimes I've seen these letters and I'm like, what is that? We are going to find out all about that. So I do want to introduce our expert here, Kelly Maxwell. Thank you for joining us today. She's got quite a lot of things to mention here, so I'm just going to give you a brief and then you can tell us a little bit more about yourself. So Kelly is the mathematics teacher and IGCSE curriculum coordinator here at EtonHouse International School on Orchard. She is also, you were a math teacher in the UK. You were head of maths and IGCSE curriculum coordinator at an international school in Fiji.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, she's here today to talk to us all about IGCSE, understanding what that means, but also talking about how they apply it here at EtonHouse International School. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I gave you a very brief introduction.
Okay.
I got sidetracked with your Fiji experience, but yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into being an expert in this field.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling me an expert. Everyone is just a lifelong learner. So, but yes, I do know a lot about IGCSE. So I am from England, and so I'm British, and I did the GCSEs, which are obviously very much related to the IGCSEs, which we'll discuss later. And then when I went international, I was head of maths in Fiji, then I worked in the Philippines, and now here in Singapore. So always high school mathematics or secondary mathematics, depending on what school. So secondary sometimes is split into middle school and high school, in case that's bothering anyone. So sometimes it's called secondary, sometimes high school / middle school, just in case that's bothering anyone as well.
And how long have you been here in Singapore?
9 months now.
9 months?
Yes.
Excellent.
I love it here. Yeah.
They're very lucky to have you here.
Thank
so that's fantastic.
Thank you.
So today we are going to be separating the topics into 3 main sections, which Kelly's going to give us a brief on each of those. And of course, feel free to interact and ask questions along the way so we can make sure and get those fully covered. So the 3 sections are going to be, what is IGCSE? We're going to be diving into that in detail. And then why might IGCSE be a good choice for your child, which I think is a very popular question, certainly from our readers as well. Is it right for you? And then thirdly is how is it taught here at EtonHouse International School? Kelly, obviously leading the curriculum here, is the best person to talk about that. So we're going to be covering that in the third part of the interview. So stay with us, and let's dive right in. All right, first go.
What is it?
What is it?
Okay, so in brief, it is a curriculum. So obviously around the world there's lots of different names of different curriculums, and as you pointed out, there's lots of acronyms that people don't know. But it is a set curriculum with many syllabuses, over 70 subjects available. So what happens is this curriculum is suitable for, I'd say, 13 to 16-year-olds.
Okay.
So if we just, rather than say grade this, year that, because that changes internationally.
Right.
So age group, we're talking around 13 or 14 when you start, and you take the exams.
And would that be considered early, 13, 14, or is that average?
Sorry, that's when you would start studying.
Okay.
You take the exams. You can take the exams any time, but roughly when you're 16. Just to
Okay.
give someone an age.
Okay.
I mean, you could take the IGCSEs at 11 years old if you want, but where I'm placing it, it's before you do the last 2 years of school.
Okay.
Generally.
Okay.
So before maybe A-levels you might have heard of, or the IB-DP diploma program.
Right.
So it's the 2 years before university, it's before that. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's what we might call high school or the end of secondary.
Okay.
Before you go into, some countries call it sixth form, would be the last 2 years of
last
school.
couple
So it's
of years.
just
Okay.
before the last 2 years of school. It's
Okay.
the easiest way to explain it. But what it is an international qualification in various different subjects.
Okay.
So it's not an overall certificate.
Okay.
It's certificates for each subject.
So
it
give
depends
us
what
some
you
examples
take.
of subjects, for example.
Okay, so there's core subjects like international mathematics,
Okay.
English language,
So it's
English
very
literature.
specific subjects.
That would mean, say I pass my international GCSE, so IGCSE in mathematics.
Okay.
Then I get a grade for mathematics IGCSE.
Okay.
Then I also might take history, which is
Okay.
great, and geography or business studies, and I will receive a separate IGCSE certificate and a separate grade for each subject.
Okay.
So, and there's not a limit, but obviously, naturally, there is within your own school a
Okay.
limit to how many you take. But what I'm trying to explain is each subject has its own IGCSE.
Okay.
So it's not an overall.
And there's
okay?
70 subjects to...
70. I mean,
Okay.
schools can't offer
Yes,
70.
yes, I guess you get specialized
I don't know.
in-
I mean, maybe there are. That would be amazing if some schools are. But so there are 70, maybe over 70 now to choose from. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a bit of a cough today. Actually, can I grab a water? A little tickly, the haze.
Okay.
Okay. So, can you explain the different exam boards and do they matter?
Yeah, this is a very common question. So there are different exam boards. I work with the Cambridge, so it's also called CIE, Cambridge International Education.
Okay.
And it does come from and was started by Cambridge University in the UK. This is the original exam board of the IGCSEs. And then there are other great ones like AQA and EdXL. They also offer the IGCSE.
Okay.
I can't comment on the different exam boards, but the original that started it, CIE, is who I've always worked with, and they are fantastic what they offer. So there's nothing wrong with the other ones. I'm sure I haven't worked with them, but we have never found any problems with the original exam board, CIE. And I would say that it is, at the moment, the most recognised and the most used. But so it does. A different school could put in with a different exam board. It's fine.
Got it.
But the syllabus should match up, but it doesn't have to. So
Okay.
you would need to look into that more if you felt there was a difference. That would be a personal choice. But
Okay.
a school would usually pick an exam board, if that
Okay.
makes sense. And then
Okay.
all their different IGCSEs will go through that one exam board.
Okay.
And I find I like to stick to that exam board because I actually know all of the exams historically, if that makes sense. So I get a better feel for those exams. So the main differences people talk about are the way that the exams are written or the way the questions are asked. So I can't talk about specific differences. That's just things that people say.
It's a personal choice.
A personal choice.
Or the school choice.
The school chooses it, yes. But from working in England, I have enjoyed working with all different exam boards on the normal GCSEs. So I think they all seem great, to be honest. But the one that we use is the original one, Cambridge.
Based on these notes that you had. Okay. Just before we, this is more of a question. When I know that when we were doing the prep for this interview, this came up. IGCSE is a curriculum, but it is layered on top of IB. It can be layered on top of A-levels.
Definitely.
So it can be layered on top of the curriculum of that school. It's just more specialized into the different areas.
Yeah, so this is what I love about it. So, okay, first of all, it's a set curriculum.
Right.
So in my opinion, that's always the best
it's optional?
choice.
Is it optional? Is it...
For a school or for a student?
I think both. Like if it is it, because I associate it with maybe like AP courses or something along those lines.
Yeah, of course.
Which is
in America,
which is optional, but it is.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you do choose your IGCSE options, but there are core subjects that we choose.
Okay.
Now, a school sets that. Do you see? So a school decides what they see as core subjects. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, due to staffing in every school in the world, you won't pick from 70. Right? So a school will pick the subjects they want to offer based on their wishes and the teachers that they have, and then they'll put it, I presume, every school I've ever worked at obviously does this, into groups. So then you will have to choose from a group.
I
see.
So
you don't sort of sit there with a lovely brochure of 70 as a student, unfortunately, and parent and say, oh, I'll pick out of here. So a school will set those parameters, but they're very wide. I mean, I took 10 or 11, I think.
Wow. So that, and
as a child,
Okay, so you can, wow. So I guess this question came in, but I don't know if you already answered it here. How do we know what subjects to choose? So you've got 7 to choose. You did mention that the school selects. So, for example, how many does EtonHouse here have?
Okay, so I will go through it. So we say that our core are English language. We do put English literature there, but we study them together, and then whether you took that exam or not would be your decision with the teacher, because literature, we love to expose everyone to literature, but maybe, the exam. But English language, of course, is one of our core. English as a second language is another IGCSE, comes under the same umbrella, but there's separate ones. Mathematics, the best, because that's my subject.
We all have our strengths.
Okay, I am biased. And obviously we do science. Now, there's lots of IGCSEs in science. It's incredibly vast majority, but what happens is we split it into physics, chemistry, and biology, and they're 3 separate IGCSEs. But there are things like combined science, and we're very flexible here. What's right for a student, maybe 10 of our students will take that. I can't comment on that now, but there's just such great IGCSEs available. And then, yes, you've got lots of choices. So history, geography, business studies,
that's good.
Drama, DT, art and design, PE as an IGCSE. Everyone does PE, but there is actually an IGCSE in PE. And so there's wonderful IGCSEs, that we offer. Now the blocks change every year. So you would have to get in touch and we'll give you an options form. So they change every year due to what students want to do and things like that. But that's a practical matter. If you are a student or a parent picking your choices, you need to pick what you enjoy. Really, that's the key.
Passion.
However, if you know there is something that you're desperate to study at university, lucky you if you know when you're that young. But you don't have to know. But if you do know, then of course your teachers can help you choose the best IGCSEs that will get you ready for the next stage.
So it's a consultative kind of approach to...
But the key here is that you don't have to know that. Like, you are studying something for 2, possibly 3 years, depending on when you take the exam. And so you should pick what you enjoy, what you have an interest in. and maybe where your skills lie. So history is a fantastic IGCSE, but it has lots of essay writing.
Okay.
And so if you really hate essay writing, maybe you shouldn't pick history. But I would obviously say that with the growth mindset, you should, if you love history, you should pick it anyway. And then through history, you'll also improve your essay writing.
Okay.
So
Yes. So
so you need to discuss it with
do not
teachers.
be scared. Yeah.
No.
The growth
but
mindset.
Don't pick things. Yeah, definitely have the growth mindset. But don't pick things because you think you should.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to be very happy with.
I guess that's just a good message in
I think
life
so.
in general, right?
Yeah, exactly. And whatever you do pick, I mean, it doesn't set your whole life. You don't have to pick what's happening at 13 in your life. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to pick what you're doing in life at 13.
I've changed careers 2 times.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pick. This is what I will do for the rest of my life, but who knows?
It took you a while to navigate into that.
Yeah, you do not have to choose what you do at school. Yeah.
So I do have a question, since this is basically the premise behind EtonHouse here, is you've got the IB program that is with the school, the main program that
We're
is
aiming
fed
to,
here.
Yeah.
How does IGCSE lay a good foundation in relation to the IB program specifically?
The MYP.
Diploma.
Oh, do you mean, okay, so the reason I said MYP is I thought you meant like MYP into DP, which is the one before DP, compared to IGCSE. But I will answer that first question. So it is a fantastic base for it because, and this is the international IGCSE, is the best base because it's internationally recognised, and so the syllabus has all the international curriculums in its mind when it's being set. Okay, not just the IB,
right?
All the others. You know, the international mathematics is a fantastic foundation for A-level mathematics. It has the international market in mind when they're setting the syllabus. That's first. So I can tell you specifically how wonderful it is for the IB, but first of all, the fact that it is an internationally recognised qualification, this is what it specialises in.
Right.
Okay, so if you're going to do the IGCSEs and then you don't know where your child's going or if it's going to do IB or anywhere, the IGCSE is still the best foundation because it is looking at all the syllabuses above it and saying what's the best fit.
Okay.
Specifically to the IB, it's a fantastic option because it looks at that syllabus. You can tell that they've looked at the IB syllabus.
Right.
And
picked their
syllabus. Yeah, you can see it naturally goes
fits.
up. Yeah, it fits. And there's not some huge jump. Of course, there's lots of topics that are not there.
Right.
Calculus is not there. In mathematics, for example, and it's in the IB, but all the skills you need for calculus are in the IGCSE, and that's the key. So you are building up the skills in mathematics, in history, in English, everything that you need to go further into the IB or any curriculum that you move on
and
to.
prep for university. I mean, that's incredible.
Such
prep
good
for university. Yeah.
And the key thing that I find is that people say there's no coursework in IGCSE. That's a very common myth.
Okay, coursework meaning like
coursework.
homework?
Right, coursework is work that you can hand in towards your exam grade.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's just an exam.
Yeah, the IGCSE, coursework is not an exam.
Okay.
So it's work that you do before and it's handed in, but it counts towards your grade.
Okay, I see. Okay.
This is some people's issue with IGCSE. They say it's all exam based and it's not coursework. Now the key to this is it can be all exam based if you want it to be.
Okay.
If you only want to take exams, it can be that way.
Okay.
But there are many subjects in the IGCSE that have options for handing in coursework. So here at EtonHouse, we do whatever's best for the student.
Okay.
We personalise our learning for the student. So it is more flexible than people think. They think it's only exams, which it is for some subjects.
Yeah,
like
mathematics
is
seems like it's
exams.
quite flexible in that.
It's
in that
very
sense.
flexible.
Yeah.
There's different pathways that you choose.
Okay.
So it's great like that. So for the IB, it's just the best foundation.
Yeah, it sounds like it fits quite nicely.
It really does fit really, really well. The key to the IGCSEs is that you take external examinations. Now, to some people, that's the scary part. But the IB has examinations.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
So you don't want the qualification that's getting you into university to be your first experience we're taking it.
That's right. That would be quite scary.
So another reason we
you get practice in that.
you get, and it's it's good practice. Yeah.
All right, so for those that just joined us, we are here in Singapore. We are talking all about IGCSE. We're here with Kelly, who is the curriculum coordinator over at EtonHouse International School in Orchard. And we just found out all about what the IGCSE program is, the curriculum is. We're going to be diving into our second two areas today for today's discussion. But before we dive in, just want to check in with our readers to see if there's any questions regarding the first topic. What is IGCSE? Any questions? All right, we'll move right along then. So our next area of focus is more of a personal thing, right? So here you are, you understand the curriculum, you understand how it relates to the IB program, you understand the ages, so we've got the basics, and now we're diving into it's your child. We want to understand, is it right for my child? So that's going to be what we talk about right now. So can you take us through I guess we've talked about the curriculum, but how are students assessed, essentially?
Okay. So first of all, at EtonHouse Orchard, every student, their learning is personalised for them. And that's the wonderful thing about this school. So firstly, the pathway that's right for your child will be looked at together with you and your child and the teachers, and made personal for your child. So what's best for them.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So in terms of IGCSE in general being best for your child, if you've picked this school, we will find a way for you to access the IGCSEs in any way you can.
Okay.
That can be opposite ends of the spectrum. It could be, I'm like a super fast learner. Okay, great. Take an IGCSE early, right?
Right.
We had a year 9 take a Spanish IGCSE and got an A star.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so and now they're self-learning German, right? Like
wow.
It's completely flexible.
Yeah.
Maybe the year 10s might take their business studies exam early.
Right.
So then they can either have more time, or maybe they pick up another IGCSE.
Right.
It's what's right for your child. If your child is very anxious on exams, has anxiety issues, or maybe an extra learning need, then maybe they take less exams.
Okay.
We will personalize that.
And I guess you've got the prep work, because it is a secondary school focus. You understand a bit more information from their primary year schooling, and what are their challenges, what are their passions. So you'll be able to consult a little bit more, bring the parents in.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we get to know our students extremely well, because we're so privileged to have such small class sizes. So we know them really well, and whether they're new right through the door, or if we've had them for a few years, or if they've come from one of our fantastic preschool or middle school or any other school, primary schools, they're just fantastic. So first of all, that's the key. So there's no panicking. It's not like every child is the same. They must take 100 IGCSEs.
Yeah, it seems very flexible, which is very customized, which is also reassuring, I think, for parents as well.
It genuinely is. That is exactly how we do it here.
Yeah.
So it can be right for everyone, because we will find a way to fit it for you.
Yeah.
But the exams are rigorous, which I think is really, what you're asking.
Yeah.
Maths exam, there's 3, for example, 45 minutes, 2 hours 15, and an hour and a half. That's huge.
And are the exams multiple choice exams, or are they essay
for
exams?
Science, there's one of them is multiple choice.
So it's a mix
science.
Depending on what the subject is?
It completely depends. An English exam is obviously a long written exam.
Those were always my favorite.
A language exam has a listening part. They're all different, but they are. There are a lot of exams.
They're not easy. You put the time in, your prep work.
Yes, but there's a lot of exams at university as well.
Yes, that's right.
So you've got to take
better test out and get your...
I've taken a lot of exams.
Sometimes I still like when I'm dreaming, I'll have like a dream of being back in exam land.
Once I was in an exam and I thought, who's banging? And it was my own knee on the table out of nerves. Like we've all done it. We've all done it. So unfortunately, it would be hard to have a life without any exams. So
it's good. It's
so
good
we get
prep
to
work.
practice while we're younger. Yeah.
So I think we had a question coming in. This is a great question, actually. I was going to touch on this. Are IGCSEs recognized worldwide? Because you do have a lot of people moving around, right? Especially in Asia or back London,
Great
wherever it may be. So
so the IGCSEs at the moment are in over 120 countries.
Wow.
Okay. So very, very recognised.
Yes.
In fact, even the independent private schools in England, a huge amount of them, even though England actually does the GCSEs, they're doing the IGCSEs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's unbelievable. So then even in British schools, they're sometimes picking the international versions.
Right.
And that's because it's so well recognised.
Right.
That's actually why, I mean, one of, I can't speak for those schools. So when you have an IGCSE on your piece of paper, people will know that is a world standard.
Right.
Okay. So if anything, it's the best curriculum to take because it specialises in being international.
Right.
When you take a specific curriculum in a specific country, it is potentially less recognised.
Right.
So this is one of the best, if not the best, the most.
So it is
internationally
extremely
recognised.
flexible.
Yeah.
It's flexible, it's customized, and it's also, it caters to people that might be considering moving or moving in, moving out.
Yes.
And it's got the caliber that you're looking for as well.
So I see what you're saying. People are worried. So if you now studying the IGCSE and you move somewhere else that doesn't study it, all you're going to have is a great grounding for all the subjects that they're doing.
Right.
I mean, it is beyond the level of national curriculums that I've compared it to.
Yeah.
If anything, it's slightly harder. So there might be a topic that you hadn't covered yet in your IGCSEs and it's in the new school. But the standard of difficulty, I would say, is way up there.
Right.
You will be able to transfer worldwide. Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. So next question, as we talk a little bit more about is IGCSE right for your child, is what types of skills do kids acquire, to teens really, that are unique to IGCSE? What are the specific skills?
Well, obviously, you will get examination skills. Everyone knows that, but there's so much more to it. So they are analysing, in English, for example, they're analysing poetry, analysing text, they're essay writing, they're describing, they're learning languages. So the skills are endless. It obviously depends which subjects you choose.
Right.
But ultimately at EtonHouse and obviously through the IGCSEs, you're becoming the whole student. It's not just about the academics.
Right.
You are becoming a person, you're developing your personality. We're very big on grit, the growth mindset, all their emotional, mental health as well. Like you're becoming
You're getting those soft skills in addition to what that's,
yeah. And the IGCSE allows for that because there's so much project-based learning is how we teach it.
Right.
So there's a lot of cross-curricular going on between all the subjects.
Right.
So that's really
it's nice. It's a nice thing. Sometimes we forget about that part, but it's
we don't.
We'll be reminded. But you do. You think, okay, math, okay, science, but it is the development or like the exam. Just getting that experience in that area before you go off to university. Soft skills. I mean, that's definitely the way forward.
So the IGCSE allows for that, but obviously that also depends on what school you go to, right? So you could just teach to the test, IGCSE, and just do that, but that's not what we do. So we're about the whole student as a whole person.
So it's a nice combination there.
Yeah, and the IGCSE is just the syllabus that we've chosen to teach through. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this next question, you've covered a little bit of it. So, there's 70 subjects, as you mentioned, and obviously all the schools have a certain number of subjects. In terms of a student, when they're looking at those 70 subjects, the process of that, as you explained, is that it's a very hands-on approach where you bring in the student. How does this align with the choices of the IB program, diploma and beyond? How does it align?
Yeah, okay. It does align very well. We would never say necessarily that you can't, like if you had this huge love of history, but you didn't take it at IGCSE or it wasn't in the right option block, we're not the kind of school that is going to stop you. Right? We're not fixed mindset, we are going to do. But are you going to find it very difficult? That's the truth. Yes, you're going to have a lot of work to catch up on.
Right.
Okay. The main problem would be, for example, you have to take a humanity, for example, in the IB. So if you haven't taken any humanities in IGCSE, it's going to be a completely new thing to you.
Okay.
Just means you'd have a lot more work on your hands.
Right.
But if you're determined, then you can do it.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to hold you back. Obviously, the core subjects are in all the groups,
Right.
so that's covered.
Okay.
But I would say the only other issue would be a humanity, if you didn't pick a humanity, but not an issue that's going to stop you.
Right.
Okay. Now, the limitations will be when it comes to higher level.
Okay.
That is where there's a limitation.
Got
and
it.
that is for students' own good. Let me
Okay.
explain. In maths, it's best to get an A at IGCSE
Okay.
to take higher level mathematics
Okay.
in IB.
Okay.
Why? Because if you got lower than that, you're going to get possibly a lower mark at higher level.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Not definitely.
Yep,
It's
yep.
growth mindset. But, okay, I'll go to the extreme. If you got an E in your IGCSE and it wasn't for an emotional reason, that
Right.
was, at that moment in time, your ability in mathematics.
Right.
Higher level mathematics is just too many steps in 2 years, and we wouldn't want anyone to fail it.
Yes.
So anything's possible, but those are the limitations. I mean, that's
Okay.
a realistic.
Yes,
To take
yeah, yeah,
higher
yeah.
level mathematics if you got an E,
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure you wouldn't want to.
Right.
But again, if you're willing to put the work in,
Yeah.
so I can't speak for the IB
Right.
and what they would accept or what the IB coordinator would accept. I can't speak for that.
Right.
But I'm not going to tell you there's no limitations.
Right.
That
Right,
wouldn't-
right.
that
No,
wouldn't
it's
be-
realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got to be realistic. But
Okay.
again, it's personalised learning here, so we would discuss it
Okay.
with you in a meeting.
And encourage you
Yeah.
which direction
And
to go.
never discourage you.
Right.
Unless
Just be
there was an
realistic.
extreme.
Yeah. Excellent. So we're going to be moving into our third area of topics today. Just for those that are just joining us here, we're here in Singapore at EtonHouse International School in Orchard. We're talking all about the IGCSE. And what we've talked about is what it is it right for my child? And now we're going to get very specific. We want to find out a little bit more about how IGCSE is taught here at EtonHouse International School. So that's what we're going to be diving into. But before I do, are there any questions out there about the general categories? All right, let's go right into it. All right, so why did EtonHouse feel that IGCSE was the right choice for their secondary students?
Yeah. Well, like 120 other countries
Yeah.
and thousands of schools,
It's popular.
it's popular, yeah. It's because it's an international standard, okay? I don't want to work in a school without a set curriculum.
Right.
I mean, it's just too varied, and I respect the teachers that are doing that and writing their own, but the reality is people are coming in and out. It's in the international schools. So you need something where people know there's a set standard,
Right.
which the IGCSE is an incredibly high standard. It's wonderful. And then right, I know that's a set curriculum.
Right.
And then I can, if they need to move on, or it's transferable.
Right.
And I would say that's why we chose it. Obviously, there are wonderful other curriculums out there. But for us, this one, because you have to take examinations, which the IB require, we feel it's the best.
It's the right
for
one.
us. It's the right fit for us.
And specifically for EtonHouse Orchard, obviously you've got experience, UK,
Yeah.
Fiji, here now in Singapore. What is it specifically? What's taught here at EtonHouse Orchard?
So, we teach PBL,
Okay.
project-based learning.
PBL, project-based learning.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I believe we're the first school to teach in this way.
Okay.
This is more the real world, isn't it? So you're welcome to look into PBL in general. There's lots online. But this makes sure that there's a collaboration between subjects,
Okay.
that we're not just teaching to a test,
Right.
that you're doing projects on your work, you're thinking of real life experiences. And
It sounds fun, actually.
It is fun, I hope so. Because this is a global world, and we're not really sure what jobs they're going into,
Yeah.
right? The jobs don't exist.
Yeah, it gives you a real taster for what's...
The jobs don't necessarily exist with what our students will do yet,
Yeah.
So we want them to be able to collaborate with each other, do project work, and also be able to pass an exam.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So this is something you mentioned, but now we need more specific numbers. At Little Steps, we've worked with the EtonHouse for years, and one of the things we love about it is the class sizes,
Yeah.
and how personalized it does get. But what is a typical class size in relation to IGCSEs?
Yeah,
What are you looking
maximum class size is 24.
Okay.
But what we're so lucky at EtonHouse, they're so supportive. When our class sizes start reaching close to there, they've actually allowed us to split the classes and get more teachers.
Okay.
They're just so amazing like that. So instead of it actually reaching 24, at the moment my maximum class size is 17.
Okay.
Right? But the official maximum class size is 24.
Okay.
But the biggest class
Depends
I have
on-
right now is 17.
Okay.
So can you imagine how much one-on-one time
Yeah,
I
that's
get with
brilliant.
the students? It's amazing. And I can differentiate and I can sit with them and I can give different tasks and it's just fantastic.
Oh, that's
really,
excellent.
really great. And just on the personalised, how we personalise it, we actually use something called Fast Tomato. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard of it.
No,
But
yes.
it's really interesting, even as an adult, to
Okay.
take the test.
Okay.
And you mark off all your interests and
Okay.
it tells you courses that
That-
might be suitable for you.
Oh, that
or-
would be fun.
Yeah,
We
I
should
know,
all take this
yeah.
test.
We should all join Fast
Maybe we
Tomato.
can include
Yeah.
that on the
Yeah.
the link there so that we can all find out
Yeah.
what we should be doing.
Yeah. So that's really great too. So yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned obviously every school chooses how many subjects that they've got. How many subjects do you have here at EtonHouse?
The number. Oh, I haven't got the number in my head.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah,
I can list them,
roughly.
I can list them all to you. Yep. So I think we offer over 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And are there any that are specific to the school that you are very passionate about? Obviously math.
Yes, not specific to the school.
Yep.
What I am passionate about is the fact that we're flexible.
Yep.
So I have someone right now, we don't have a German teacher,
Okay.
but they're studying German on their
Okay.
own because they already have their Spanish.
Okay.
So that's what I love. I'm possibly got someone taking Hindi, but we don't have a Hindi teacher.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is the flexibility of being able to also take on more IGCSEs.
Led
so
by
we're
the
not,
students'
we're
passions.
limited by 70.
Yes.
We're not
Ah.
limited by 15 plus.
Okay, that's
of what
great.
we do.
So if you've got a student that says, I want to kind of move in this direction, I want to take Hindi, then then the school will work with that student potentially
within
to bring
reason,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we hire a whole
Of
teacher.
course, yeah.
But this is the great thing.
Yep.
And you couldn't walk into a school in England necessarily
Right.
and do that.
Right.
But when you come to an international school and one of our size that actually is passionate about the personalised learning, you can do things like that.
Okay.
You can take them early, you can take them later, you can take ones where you're going to self-study.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
we approve
Yeah, if you
it.
can, yeah. But it's nice that you're open to it and
Definitely.
actually encouraging it. Say, come to
Definitely.
me. Let me know what you're passionate about.
Of course.
So one thing that we haven't really talked about is the one that gets us all jittery: exams.
Yeah.
Can you explain how the exams work? Is it X amount of times a year? Do the student
Yeah.
leads the exams? Or?
Yeah, so they're set by IGCSE,
Okay.
by zone.
Okay.
So basically they're at exact date on an exact time and you'll be taking it with other people in your zone.
So
in
outside of the
world.
school, it's
no, in here.
So it would be taken
Yep,
in the school.
In the school with invigilators.
Okay.
And all the exams are given a locked away and it's very, very vigorous, the security around it.
Right.
Even if your exam is at the same time as another exam, then you need to be kept away from technology and in another room. And yeah, it's quite full on. I'm not going to lie to you. It's full on. It's not like taking your end of year exams at school.
Right.
But it's like taking your exams in IB.
Yep.
It's like taking your exams at university. Yeah.
And how often during the year? I mean, is it once a year,
So
twice a year?
twice.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
And typically, is it the same period?
May, June,
May and June.
or October, November.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
and
it.
we're actually flexible on that. So usually you take it at the end of a year, May, June. That's when we'll take most of our exams.
Right.
But we're putting people in for November. Again, we're flexible.
Yep, yeah. Okay. So that kind of summarizes our chat for today. Is there anything just related to EtonHouse that you wanted to mention that I didn't cover in that section? Because that is quite personalized. Anything else that you think?
Just that please come and have a tour, please come and have a look around
Yeah.
because it's a really unique campus and
Right.
a really unique school and you definitely should at least come and have
And the
a look.
location is brilliant.
I
It's
know,
right here in
yeah.
Orchard.
It's amazing,
It's amazing.
location, yeah.
Yeah.
And amazing staff, amazing teachers.
Yeah.
Some of the best people I've ever worked with in the world. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. Well, before we head off, I do want to open it up again to the readers if there's any questions that we haven't covered yet.
Okay.
Let me just make sure we got everything here. Oh, I do have one. Language courses available at EtonHouse.
Yes. So we have Chinese,
Okay.
Mandarin, and Spanish.
Okay.
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 And that's what we teach with the teacher.
Okay.
But as I've pointed out, if you're already got your Spanish, then maybe you take German self-study but
growth mindset.
Growth mindset, exactly. But that is what we offer, Mandarin and Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So we're going to go ahead and finish off today's Little Steps Live session. Thank you so much to Kelly, who has given us lots of good insight for IGCSE and how it relates here to EtonHouse International School here in Orchard. Be sure to share this with those individuals that you think would be interested in this, and those that might be confused about IGCSE and what it's all about. Just click that share button, make some comments. Just so you guys know as well, Kelly is going to be available to answer questions after the live session. So if you are seeing this after we go live, be sure to put your comments in, and we'll get Kelly to answer those as well. So keeping you in the know and on the go, thanks for joining us at Little Steps Live. See you later.